Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Earthlings. I hope you're doing well. My headdress arrived for the coronation. Don't forget, the coronation is going to be a whole weekend. And I bet there are going to be hats galore and tiaras, so I might get a tiara as well for the actual thing. But I've got black gloves came with this. It was €8 or something. I couldn't resist it. So I'm quite pleased about that. And also my book from Sarah Ferguson arrived, so I'm going to enjoy reading that. I hear Sarah is not going to the coronation, and I think that's really sad. I think she's a big part of the family. Oh well, never mind. I'm sure there'll be a lot of thoughts and opinions on that, because Andrew and Harry are going, and equally they're members of the family. So I would have liked to have seen Sarah there. I really would. And she always seems left out and the one that's not allowed to join in. And honestly, on reflection, looking back on all the doodah that was made about toes and things years ago, we all know the story, it's not, in the grand scheme of things, you know, in the grand scheme of things, is it that bad that it will never ever be forgiven? Or maybe there's another reason that she doesn't go. I don't want to offend anybody. Thank you very much for all your comments on the video yesterday. Oh boy, I hope that video stays, and then whatever does happen, whichever one of you gets it right, I will crawl through those comments and I will find the ones that got it right, and I'll say you called it, whatever happens. Because some of you have said nothing will happen, some of you have come up with all sorts of scenarios and things. Will he actually make it to the coronation, or will there be a little crisis disaster before which will prevent him from travelling? Well, it's, as they say in politics, a day is a long time in politics. Well, an hour is a long time in the Sussexes camp, isn't it? Anything can change. Absolutely anything. I heard that the delay was over wanting to see the seating plan, etc. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Now, regarding Neil Sean, firstly, yesterday, I still haven't watched his video. I'm about to watch that before I start reading my book. But yeah, because I hadn't seen it, I didn't really know exactly what he'd said. But to clear it up, a lot of you explained to me that what he actually said was that Charles and William had said, make a decision today whether you're coming or not, or, you know, we're disinvited, you know, we've got to do the seating. He hadn't said anything about them. William and Charles hadn't said anything about Meghan and Harry not coming. But obviously it must have forced the issue. And the other thing is, a lot of you didn't like that I referred to the Princess of Wales as meek and mild. Now, I don't know if the meaning of it has changed, but I didn't mean like she's mousy and too scared to speak up. That's not at all the context. So I did Google it. And the definition I got from Google is really how I meant it. That it's a person not willing to argue or express their opinions in a forceful way. And that's what I meant. Catherine reminds me very much of the late Queen. She's not a diva. She wouldn't lay down demands. I just don't think it's her style at all. I really don't. I think she's very respectful to the monarch, the monarchy, to William, to the whole family, the whole institution. And I just couldn't see Catherine being the one to put her foot down. That's not to say that I think she's a weak person. I didn't say weak and mild, meek and mild. And meek and mild, they don't mean, you know, little quivery characters. It means someone with modesty, the opposite of arrogance, of, I don't know, I can think of maybe one person who might be a little bit arrogant. And I also see that Samantha Markle has refiled her lawsuit. Again, thank you, ironically enough, to Ellie Hall, who's put a link to the whole thing. I'll put a link in the description here so you can go and read it yourself. Again, I haven't read it yet, but as I understand it, all the Oprah stuff from the original complaint, that's still running. And this new filed complaint, I don't know if Finding Freedom is involved in it at all, but I believe it's the Netflix, of which Meghan most definitely was the publisher, because it was an Archewell collaboration production for Netflix. So, and I mean, it's all going to be down to lawyers and nitty gritty and looking at the individual words, phrases, I don't know if in this day and age lawyers listen to voice inflection, the connotations, the context in which words were intended, or if they even read into things like that. That would be very interesting. I also saw, I do look at the newspapers occasionally still. I saw an article, I think was in the Mirror, something about Harry and the coronation. But what interested me was they had used a photograph of Harry and Charles, which the Royal Grift showed in a video a week or two back, which showed that Harry and Charles were at a certain destination at the same time as Meghan Markle, but years before Harry and Meghan met. So, and all of your comments are just lovely and very respectful. And as you know, I've referred before to Kenyon, who's a member of the community here, not a sugar, just a genuine Meghan, a fervent Meghan supporter. But one of your comments, Kenyon, you said, you know, if people are going to say beat them through the streets naked or hang them from the balcony, I don't know where that's been said on the internet, but I've definitely never ever read anything like that in the comments on this channel. Never. Never. I've never heard anybody on this channel say anything violent or threatening. I have heard people defend Jeremy Clarkson's article, but what the mistake he made was he didn't put in the article that he was referencing Game of Thrones, and I think that would have cleared a lot up. Anyway, so I just wanted to put that down for what it's worth, because when you're a fan of a particular member of the royal family, and as I discovered a few weeks ago, there's an awful lot of which one was he? King Richard III. There's loads of King Richard III fans. And I still have yet to look up the documentary of the alternative scenarios of what actually went down there. And a lot of you saying how Shakespeare had influenced the story and history and stuff. And I don't like twisting history. I like things to be the way they were. But it's interesting when you have a particular member of the royal family that you like and you support, and a lot of other people don't like them. That's, you know, that's awkward. And you want to defend them, but what you mustn't do is pretend and make up that people have said threats and stuff like that, because nobody here has done that. And I hope this channel's a little bit light-hearted and that we can have some fun, which brings me to my final point. I know a lot of you are going to buy tiaras or have bought tiaras. I spoke to Sue Smith yesterday and I think she's going to get a tiara. So, when you get your tiaras, if you could email me a picture of either the tiara or you wearing the tiara, if you're happy to do that, and I can make a compilation coronation video of all of you, and I'll set it to some music, so it'll be a copyright thing, meaning it's not monetized, but it'll be there for history. Perhaps we can have Rule Britannia, or you can make some suggestions of music. Classic, iconic British music. Only Fools and Horses. I don't know if anyone in America or Australia or any other countries understand what I'm talking about. Fawlty Towers. We actually did a dolphin trip back in 2012 for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, I think it was. And we played music like that on the dolphin boat. We did the cricket music. We did Only Fools and Horses, Fawlty Towers, Rule Britannia. We did all of the iconic British music. So no matter how many of you out there, send me pictures and I'll store them all in a file and we'll make a lovely compilation. And also English teas. Anybody going to do any? I'm going to do an English tea, but I don't like scones. I don't eat sugar. I don't like sweet things at all. I'm going to have little tiny cucumber sandwiches and stuff like that, and a tea set. And we'll sit in the sunshine, and probably I will also try and live stream the coronation, but I don't think it's essential that I do, because I'm pretty sure there'll be other YouTubers who will do that. If I can figure out how to do it and we're available at the time, then I will do it. Otherwise, well, we'll just do some videos on the day and display all of your finery, your regalia, your royalty. And as River always says, be regal, or is it be royal? Anyway, so I'm off to read my book, and on the back it says, what on earth have you been up to? So, and I'll let you know what I think of the book if you want me to do a review. In the meantime, have a fabulous day, and as always, I look forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions.